Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. So I want to start off by saying that if you are drawn to my channel, or if you find my channel and you just happen to look at it, thank you, I appreciate it. And hopefully the messages, they do resonate with you. I don't do anything like special as far as, like, I know some readers, they they have these intros and they do these the front of their videos look very catchy and things like that. I'm very simple, I'm very straight to the point. Also keep in mind that a lot of my videos, they do have messages in the description box. I am a person that I do better off with getting things out through writing, so the message is in more detail as to what I am trying to say or relay to you in the description box. It's a lot more detailed sometimes if it doesn't come out clear for you in the actual video itself. That's number one. Number two is, so the other day, so today is January 24th. I lost a friend on January 22nd, and I didn't find out until yesterday. He committed suicide. And it's crazy because on on Sunday, that's the day it happened, I did a video, and the video was about allowing God to actually have that say so, allowing him to guide you and to know that he will protect you. And it's painful because we think that we really do think that we can help everybody, and that was literally my video of you can't help everybody. And it's sad because you really do wish you can, and at the end of the day you realize that you are just one person. But also people have to want help, and sometimes it's hard for people to ask for help. So I pray that if you're one of those people who you can't talk to somebody, or it's hard for you to tell people when something is going on, then I hope that these videos help you in some way come to the conclusion that you need to go seek help. If you are one of those people who feel like they cannot get out of a dark space, or if you feel like you cannot heal from something that's happened or move on, or you just feel stuck and stagnant, I pray that you are able to seek the help that you need, professional help. Finding somebody on YouTube is great and all to help you get through the day-to-day, but at the end of the day, if you need professional help, know that professional help is out there. Hopefully you have loved ones that you can reach out to that'll assist you in your process. But I just say that in saying that you don't know what people are going through, and you don't know to what extent they may be going through it. You can look at somebody and tell that they're sad, but how sad are they on a scale of 1 to 10? And I think that's sometimes something that we look past, or we ignore, or we just don't want to believe in or seek any other answers to, because we're scared of what we may find out and what that may lead to. But yeah, and it's crazy because all last week I was having these, every time I was called to do a message, I was like, who is this for? Who is this for? And I've been doing more about, healing and forgiving and things like that. And it's literally everything that my friend was struggling with. So it's like a part of me even, takes it upon myself, I was meant to tell him this or do that. But I know that I can't hold myself to that, because at the end of the day, I feel like I'm not a mind reader. I pick up on things, and I pick up on energies, and sometimes, y'all, I pick up on things and I feel them. Out of nowhere, I get depressed, and I think and it's hard for me to distinguish sometimes if it's my own emotion or if it's someone else's that I'm picking up around me. So I actually am very much so introvert. I used to be very extroverted, but now I am very much so in my house now that I understand what happens around me. And me and him have been friends for so long that when I was depressed recently, I didn't know if that was me or him or who it was. I just know that I was on my couch stuck, like stuck. But today's reading, just to kind of move off of that, is going to be, sorry, I lost my train of thought. But today though, I do want to talk about the feeling of understanding, you know, when something is yours to take on and when something is not. Understanding that you may not really be able to save everybody, but everybody has it's funny because you know how some people, they say like you're meant to save the people that you're meant to save. God put you here to reach those people. And it's just praying that, you know, by the end of your journey, you actually touch those people in the way that he deemed you to touch them. And I do strongly, strongly believe and pray that everybody who watches my videos, even me, like I touch who I need to touch. But there is a feeling here of someone getting left behind. And there's a feeling here of feeling like the person who's meant to reach out to someone, they don't feel like they're enough to do the job that God has given them to do. And a lot of the times that happens because you may not, when you're not happy and fulfilled and stable, how can I help and guide other people in their situations? Okay. And when you have your own conflict around you, it's hard to see past that, and it's hard to see the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel. But what about what other people see about you? Okay, just follow along with me here. God will place you in the middle of a thunderstorm or in the middle of a hurricane, but you will be placed there with, let's just say, a steel house, right? And this house is not going to move. It's not going to sink. The walls aren't going to fall down. You are good to go. From the person looking in a tent, okay? The person that's living inside the tent is looking at you in this still house, and they're thinking, wow, that person is going to make it through this storm. And the whole time you're in this house covered by steel, you're like, oh my gosh, there's a hurricane outside. What if I don't make it? What then? And I say that to say, sometimes in the middle of a storm, we see ourselves, and that's all we see. All we see is the problems that are around us, and not how we are used sometimes to be the light at the tunnel for someone else, is what I'm trying to say. So sorry if this isn't coming out right, but like, our troubles and the things that we go through can be the solution to other people's problems and solutions. We understand that we may be at our low, but to somebody else, they may be lower. So how can you push them through their conflict to get to where you are? And sometimes God needs you to be in that moment to understand what the person that he needs you to help get out of that situation. How can you help them move through? How can you help them push through this? Because to everybody else, you may be a business-oriented person and you may be really great at your job. And you may seem to have your cool, and you may be cool and collective, but little do they know, you have all this conflict here on the inside. But to the outside, you look like you got your shit together. You know? How do you stay so calm and collected? Is that God? Is that you just wearing a mask? What kind of meditations do you do? What kind of prayers do you do? Take note of the things like that, because I guarantee you, you know somebody, or there is somebody around you that can use your guidance or use your help to push them through a situation. Or God may put you in place or in line with somebody that may need it. But do keep in mind also that, similar to the situation with my friend, you can't be mind readers. You know, the same way how he placed you in situations to be there for people, those people have to also meet you halfway to want to need your help, to want to reach out to you, to say, hey, I'm not okay. At what point do we hold people accountable for their actions and for their thoughts? I understand mental illness is a real thing, and trauma can really cause people to think, you know, that's not natural to do this. It's not natural to cry. It's not natural to express myself. It's not natural. It's not normal. Even for men, be manly, do this, do that. Understandable. But we have to, at the end of the day, meet each other in the middle. Even if I go 60 and you go 40, you gotta go to 40. Like, I can't have you going 25, and then, you know, like, you gotta meet somewhere. And I just say that because everybody's seeking to want to do better, right? But if you really think about it, is there any contentment in life to where it's like we will be satisfied, we won't have conflict? Life is about conflict. Life is about, not to say it's about it, but it has it. Like, it's the pros and the cons of living in this earthly realm. It's like, you always will have arguments. You always will have battles. You always will have scars from the last one, but you will always still have your flowers and your roses and your medals from the winds. Like, it's a balance of both. But how do we get through this, and how do we help other people get through this? Okay, so as you can see, I asked, how do we get through this, right? This card says, fears and frustrations, letting go of your emotions. That's just what that is. Like, not to say that you have to not just let go of the emotion, but work through the emotion. People always say that when you are depressed, it's your soul telling you that you need to do something different. You are not in alignment with what you need to be doing. Now, not to say that if you're depressed, you know, depression is real. I've suffered from, some occasionally, like I said, like, depression is real. But why? What is the root of that depression? Is it your job that makes you depressed? Is it your living status? Is it the people that you are around? Are you partaking in substances that, you know, after the high comes that low? What is it that's causing that? Why are you so unhappy right now? What about it is not fulfilling your soul in your day-to-day activities? Sometimes it could literally just be the negatives. For example, for my friend, and my heart is telling me that he was just taking a lot of L's lately, you know, not being able to process his emotions and everything. And for him, he just didn't want to be here anymore. He didn't see that light at the end of the tunnel. He didn't see happiness in his future. He saw nothing but losses. He didn't see how he could get a win. He couldn't be successful. And I really do believe that's why he took his life. Now, I can't speak on that for sure, but, you know, knowing what I know about what's been going on with him lately is he couldn't see the wins. So how do we work through these nightmares? How do we work through these frustrations? This card is nothing but about a person that can't sleep at night. They roll around in their bed at night, down to nightmares and fears and, you know, the constant worry, the constant stress, things that we're supposed to be given to God anyway, you know, going back to the chess game that I spoke about in one of my readings. allowing God to let your game unfold as it's meant to unfold. That way you may have a victory. How do we help each other work through this and get through this so that way we can see the end of the road? King of Pentacles, true pair. Hangman. One more card. I love it, y'all, when the cards fly out like that. I really do. So, following along the Nine of Swords in reverse is that stability, that being grounded, the King of Cups. Same thing as I said about the Queen of Cups. They say that when you look the part and you dress the part, you become the part. Faking it till you make it sometimes is the medicine for a lot of people. If I'm always sitting down, laying down, crying, and I look a hot mess, if I just get up and go take a shower and do my face and go outside, my attitude might just change. For some people, it's literally that simple. How do you get up, encourage yourself and motivate yourself to get up, move forward, and do something different other than stay in that one position? How do you appear to be grounded? How do you change your perspective of how people see you? Maybe if you hear somebody tell you, wow, you look like you're doing great, you're doing wonderful, you're doing good, maybe you'll start believing in it too. You know, sometimes it starts with how we see the world, yes, but sometimes it starts with how we are portrayed to the world as well. If you are around me all the time and you always negative, that's what I'm gonna say. You negative. But if you around me, you look good and you sound good, yeah, you know, that's masked sometimes, and people can actually still, you know, do things that are harmful to themselves, even in that situation. But sometimes when you put yourself in a situation where you are around better people and healthy people and, you know, you feeling good, then it forces you to want to do the same thing. The Hangman here, it says getting stronger in oneself after a lot of deliberating and delaying in your life. You've been stuck for, some people get stuck for so long, it literally becomes who they are. They just become stuck and complacent, and that negativity consumes them, and they get so wrapped up in it that that's who they are now. So it's like, at what point do you allow, do you tell yourself, this is no longer who I want to be? Instead of you telling yourself, I can't, I'm going to try, or I'm going to do. Instead of you telling yourself, like, if that other person got that job, instead of telling them, damn, like, you know, I would have been a better option. Man, I'm happy for you. You know, I'm happy you got that job. God got something for me too. It's coming. Maybe that job won't for you. For all you know, that job had to get cut during the recession. Like, you know, little things like that. Like, just changing your perspective on things can really put you in a better situation, or allow you to say that to somebody, to say, man, listen, have a different perception. All right, you might not have got that job. Have you applied to other jobs? Why are you putting all your eggs in one basket? Maybe God is giving you these options because he wants you to explore your options. Maybe he told you no because you got a yes somewhere else that's better, that's more prosperous. Your wife is there, your husband is there. Look at things differently. Because a lot of the times too, people don't understand that when they have negativity, they attract more negativity. Negative people sometimes like negative people because they don't like the positivity around them. That's not their MI. Their like, you know what I mean? Like, but how do we work through this? We work through this by telling ourselves that we deserve better. We need better, whether that's better people, better environments, better situations, better mindsets. We tell ourselves that we, one, deserve better. We tell ourselves that not only do we deserve better, but I will work to be better. I would work, or I will work to get it. I will work to be it. I will work to speak it. Like, words are curses, and mindsets. Listen, your mindset is literally your vision holder almost. Like, whatever you hold in your mind comes true to your reality for the most part. Guarantee it. If you sit here and you tell me for 1 year straight that I am going to fail, you will fail. But if I tell you to tell yourself that you will succeed, even if you don't hit it 100%, you will be in a better situation than what you are currently. That's why I tell people, when you set goals, if you know that you got to do, let's just use small numbers here. If you know that you got to sell 1 house all year, tell yourself, man, I'm going to sell 5. I'm going to sell 10. Because even if you don't hit 10, I guarantee you going to hit 1. You know, like, so doing little things like that, it can be the game changer for a lot of people in a lot of situations. And apply this to any situation, like any situation, work, love, yourself, friendships, anything. What's the likely? I want to ask. I don't want to ask likely outcome. That's typically what I do ask, so that's just normal. But for the person, for the viewer, what's one area of life? Let's ask that. What's one area of life? Three of Wands. Sometimes when things don't happen right then and there, we automatically count ourselves out, right? So for a lot of people, the one area to start with first is understanding that your boat is gonna come. It may not come today, it may not come tomorrow, but it's gonna come on time. For some reason, they're giving me, like, at an airport, how you see, you know how at an airport and stuff, how you see the board and it says on time, delayed, 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 and it gives you a time as to when the plane is gonna get there. They're showing me, though, that yes, that plane may get there at, let's just say at 3:15, right? But just because that plane got there at 3:15, does that mean that you're going to be able to get on the plane at 3:15? Does that mean that, you know, everybody on the plane is going to be off the plane at 3:15 with luggage in hand? Does that even mean that they're going to say, all right, y'all get in line. We're taking everybody that's, you know, the first round to get on the plane, like, line up. We're scanning your tickets right now. Let's get on. No, they're just telling you 3:15, that plane is scheduled to hit that tarmac and start the next cycle. Stop thinking that at 3:15 your boat is going to be there and be ready for you to hop on. Sometimes there are delays. Sometimes God needs to have you learn one more thing. God had to have you make a detour. God needed you to talk to somebody and stop and help somebody. It may not get there when you need it to get there, but I guarantee you that you're going to be doing everything that you need to do. And when that boat do get there, everything that needed to be done will be done. And everything that needs to have happened is going to happen. Sometimes delays are so good and we don't understand it, that if that boat would have been on time, who's to say that, or if that plane would have been on time, or however you want to see it, who's to say that, you know, engine failure wouldn't have happened, or, you know, the sky, you know, a thunderstorm would have struck the plane down. Anything could have happened. Stop thinking that on time is the right time, but know that when it gets there, it's God's time. It's the best way I can put that. And sometimes we need to understand that patience is way more than just it gets to me when it gets to me. Because sometimes we be sitting there waiting for something and we be so focused on that one thing that we miss out on everything else. Now you sitting here looking at the boats go by when Maybe you were supposed to be there to enjoy the sunset, for example. You missed out on a beautiful sunset. You missed out on a beautiful opportunity with talking to somebody who was waiting on the ship that left before yours. Before, like any small thing, we be so focused on the one thing that sometimes we lose sight of everything else around us. Stop being so focused. Not to say stop being so focused, but stop having that tunnel vision. Be open-minded. Just be open-minded. But yeah, so hopefully this resonates with you. If it does, please like, share, comment. Please subscribe, guys. But also take a chance. If you get a chance, please read the description as well. And maybe there's something that I missed in the reading, or you missed in the reading, or you didn't catch on to, but you'll be able to follow along better by reading it. But enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Stay safe. Love your loved ones a little bit harder. Yeah. Have a blessed day, y'all.